My name is Emily Watson. I'm 27 years old. I work as a teacher in Portland, Oregon. For 3 whole years, I gave my parents money every single month. $2,000. That's a lot of money, right? I paid for their food. I paid for their medicine. I even paid for their dog's vet visits. But you know what? They never once said thank you, not even once. Then came my wedding day. The happiest day of my life, or so I thought. I wore a beautiful white dress. The church had flowers everywhere. My husband Jake stood at the altar smiling at me. But when I looked at the seats where Mom and Dad should be sitting, I saw nothing, just empty chairs. My heart felt like someone punched it. I waited. Maybe they're just late, I told myself. Maybe traffic is bad, but deep down I knew they weren't coming. After the ceremony, I ran outside. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold my phone. I called Mom. She picked up on the second ring. Mom, where are you? This is my wedding. Her voice was cold, so cold it made me shiver. Emily, don't bother us, we're busy. Click, she hung up on me just like that on my wedding day. I stood there in my pretty dress, tears running down my face. But then something changed inside me. I wasn't sad anymore. I was mad. Really, really mad. I went back inside, found a quiet room, pulled out my laptop. One by one, I shut down every account that had their names on it, bank accounts, credit cards, everything. If they couldn't show up for me, I wasn't showing up for them anymore. It took me 30 minutes. That's all. 30 minutes to take back 3 years of my life. Then my phone started ringing. It was Dad. He was screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. But I didn't care anymore. Want to know what happened next? Keep watching because this story gets even crazier. For 3 years, I sent money like clockwork. Every month on the first day, $2,000 disappeared from my paycheck. I teach second grade. Little kids with missing teeth who still believe in magic. I don't make millions. But I gave and gave and gave because that's what good daughters do, right? Wrong. My parents always had reasons. Dad needed new tires, Mom's back hurt and she needed special treatments. Their house needed fixing. The list never ended. It was always something. And my younger brother, Michael, he was the golden boy, the favorite child. He worked at a coffee shop and lived in their basement. But somehow I was the one paying all their bills. When Michael bought a new motorcycle, they threw him a party. When I got promoted at work, Mom said, "That's nice, honey," and then asked if I could send extra money that month. It hurt. It hurt so bad. But I kept paying because I thought that's what family meant. Jake, my husband, saw it before I did. He'd watch me stress about money and say, "Emily, why do they never help themselves?" I'd make excuses. They're old, I'd say, they need me. But they weren't that old. Dad was only 58. Mom was 56. They could work, they just didn't want to. The wedding was supposed to be small, just close family and friends. I didn't ask for much. I even offered to pay for their hotel room and gas money. Mom promised they'd be there early. "Wouldn't miss it for the world," she said on the phone. I believed her because daughters want to believe their mothers love them. But that morning, I should have known. No text saying they were on their way. No call saying they were running late. Nothing, just silence. When I walked down that aisle and saw those empty seats, part of me died inside. The part that still believed I mattered to them. After Mom hung up on me, I just stood there. The sun was shining. Birds were singing. Everything looked perfect. But I felt broken. Jake found me outside. He didn't say anything. He just held me while I cried. Then he said something that changed everything. "You deserve better than this." He was right. I did deserve better, so I dried my eyes, fixed my makeup, and I made a choice. I chose me for the first time in 3 years. That's when I grabbed my laptop and started clicking buttons. Every automatic payment, canceled. Every shared account, closed. Every credit card with their names, frozen. My hands moved fast. I wasn't thinking. I was just doing. And with every click, I felt lighter, like heavy chains were falling off my shoulders. When I finished, I sat back and took a deep breath. It was done. No more money, no more excuses, no more being their personal ATM machine. Then Dad called. "What did you do?" he screamed. "The card isn't working, you can't do this to us." I stayed calm, so calm it scared me a little. "I can," I said quietly. "And I just did." He yelled more, said I was selfish. said I was a terrible daughter, said I'd regret this. But for the first time ever, his words didn't hurt me. They just bounced off. I hung up, turned off my phone, and went back to my wedding reception. My real family was there. Jake's parents, who always treated me with kindness. My best friend Sarah, who never asked me for a single dollar. My students' parents, who brought gifts even though they barely knew me. These were my people. That night, Jake and I danced under the stars, and I felt free. Really, truly free. But the story doesn't end there. Oh no, it gets so much better. Because 3 days later, I got a letter in the mail, and what was inside that letter changed everything. The letter was from my grandmother, my dad's mom. Grandma Rose, she's 82 and sharper than anyone I know. The envelope was thick. When I opened it, papers fell out everywhere. Bank statements, legal documents, a handwritten note. My hands started shaking again, but this time for a different reason. The note said, "Dearest Emily, if you're reading this, it means I finally found the courage to tell you the truth. I'm so sorry I waited this long." My heart started beating fast. What truth? I kept reading. 10 years ago, your grandfather and I set up a college fund for you and Michael. $50,000 each. Your father was supposed to give it to you when you turned 21. I stopped breathing. $50,000? I never got any money when I turned 21. I kept reading, my eyes moving faster and faster across the page. But your father told us he gave it to you. He showed us papers with your signature. He said you used it to pay off student loans. I believed him, until last week when I was cleaning and found this. Attached was a copy of a bank withdrawal, $50,000, taken out 6 years ago. The signature said Emily Watson. But it wasn't MY handwriting. Someone had traced my name. Someone had forged my signature, and I knew exactly who. My dad had stolen my college money. He took it and never told me. And for 6 years, he'd been lying to Grandma Rose, telling her I was ungrateful, telling her I never thanked them for the gift. Making me look like the bad guy. My blood turned to ice. But wait, there was more. Another paper showed a second withdrawal. This one for Michael's $50,000, also forged, also stolen. My brother didn't know either. Dad had taken both our futures and spent it on who knows what. Maybe that's why they always needed money from me, because they'd already blown through $100,000 that wasn't even theirs. Grandma Rose's note continued. I went to the bank myself. They confirmed the signatures were fake. The manager said this is fraud, serious fraud. Emily, I'm giving you these papers because you deserve the truth. What you do with them is up to you, but know this. I am so proud of you. You worked hard. You became amazing, all on your own, without the help you should have had. I love you, sweetheart, always have, always will. I sat on my kitchen floor crying. But these weren't sad tears. These were angry tears. How dare they? How dare they steal from me and then make me pay them for 3 years? All that money I sent them. That was MY money twice over. They owed me. Jake came home and found me surrounded by papers. I showed him everything. His face turned red. Emily, this is a crime. We need to call the police. Part of me wanted to protect them. They're still my parents, right? But the bigger part of me remembered those empty seats at my wedding. Remembered Mom's cold voice. Remembered 3 years of sacrifice for people who never cared. So I did it. I called the police. An officer came to our apartment. I showed him the documents. He took pictures of everything. He said, "Ma'am, this is identity theft and fraud. We'll open an investigation." Those words felt powerful, like I was finally fighting back. The next morning, 2 police officers went to my parents' house. They knocked on the door, asked questions. My dad lied at first, said he never took any money, said Grandma Rose was confused and old. But when they showed him the bank records, his face went white. They arrested him right there, handcuffs and everything. Mom called me screaming. "How could you do this to your own father?" She cried and begged me to drop the charges, but I said no. For the first time in my whole life, I said no to my mother and meant it. "You stole from me," I told her calmly. "You lied to Grandma, you missed my wedding, and you never once loved me the way I deserved. I'm done." She started crying harder, said they'd lose everything, said they might go to jail, and you know what I felt? Nothing, not sadness, not guilt, just nothing. They'd made their choices. Now they had to live with them. Michael called me next. He was furious. Not at me, at them. They stole from me too, he yelled. I've been working at that coffee shop for 5 years thinking I had no other options. I could have started a business with that money. Finally, my brother understood. We'd both been used. The court case took 3 months. Dad pleaded guilty because the evidence was too strong. The judge wasn't nice. Fraud against your own children? That's low, the judge said. Dad got 2 years probation, had to pay back every penny. Both the stolen college funds and the money I'd sent them for 3 years, with interest. The total, over $120,000. Money I never thought I'd see again, but the court ordered it. They had to sell their house to pay me back, had to sell their cars, had to sell everything. And you know what? I didn't feel bad, not even a little bit. Mom and Dad moved into a tiny apartment. They both had to get jobs, real jobs. Dad works at a grocery store now. Mom cleans offices at night. Michael doesn't talk to them anymore. Neither do I. We talk to each other, though. We're building a relationship we never had before. Turns out, we both deserved better parents. With my money back, Jake and I bought our first house. It has a big backyard and a porch swing. I planted flowers just like Grandma Rose taught me when I was little. Every morning, I drink coffee outside and feel grateful, not for what I lost, but for what I found. Myself. Sometimes people ask if I miss them. My parents. The answer is no. You can't miss people who were never really there. They were just ghosts taking up space in my life. Now that space is filled with people who actually love me. Real love, not fake love with dollar signs attached. Last week I got a card in the mail. From Grandma Rose, it said, I always knew you were strong. I'm sorry it took so long for you to see it too. Come visit soon, I'll make cookies. I cried reading it. Good tears this time, because I do feel strong now, stronger than ever. My story isn't about revenge. It's about learning that family isn't who you're born to, it's who shows up. And when they don't show up, you find better people, you choose yourself. You build the life you deserve instead of the one they tried to trap you in. I'm Emily Watson. I'm 27 years old. I teach 2nd grade, and I'm finally free. If you're out there giving everything to people who give you nothing back, hear me now. Stop. You deserve more. Choose yourself. It's not selfish. It's survival. And trust me, life gets so much better on the other side. Comment 1 if you've ever felt used by family. Comment 2 if you chose yourself and never looked back. Subscribe to Iron Revenge for more stories like this. And remember, never let anyone steal your happiness, not even family.